Anin, say go. Hello everyone. Today we are going to be making some apple bird feeders for our friends outside. To make this tasty treat, we're going to need 4 apples, 2 cups of birdseed, 4 tablespoons of gelatin, 8 screws or eye hooks, and some twine. Go ahead, open your kits, and come on back. So for this part, you're going to probably need to have an adult. We're going to put 2 cups of water into a pot. Now that you've got your 2 cups in the pot, let's make sure our handles are all facing inwards so that we don't bump them. Now we can turn on our element because we want to bring this water to a boil. Now that our water is boiling, we're going to want a whisk. We're going to slowly sprinkle in our 4 tablespoons of gelatin. You're going to want to make sure the adult with you is stirring your boiling water constantly while you add in that gelatin. Just keep mixing. We want to mix the gelatin in until it's completely dissolved, which means that we can't see it in that water anymore. We'll probably see some bubbles and we're definitely going to see some foam, but we don't want to see any of the powder left over. Stir, stir, stir. Once you have everything mixed up together, you can get ready to add in your 2 cups of birdseed. You can add in your birdseed and continue to stir. I have my birdseed still in my plastic bag. I would recommend that you put it into a bowl or something because you don't want to have an accident with that plastic bag and the boiling water. Once you've got everything all mixed up, it's still going to look a little watery. That's okay. Make sure you've turned your burner off and set aside all of your birdseed while we move on to the next step. Now it's time to get our apples ready. You've got 4 apples. I'm just using 2 today so that I can show you what we're going to do. We're going to need a knife and, I forgot something. There we go. We're also going to need a tablespoon. Start out by cutting your apples in half. Now we're going to use our spoon to dig out the core and make a hole inside of the apple. This can be a little bit tricky, but I know you can do it. Once you've got a nice big hole, you can go ahead and do the same thing to the rest of your apple halves. Remember, I'm only using 2 apples today, but at home you're using 4. I've got my little baking sheet and we're going to need that for once they're filled. Now it's time to scoop our birdseed into our apples. Scoop your birdseed into that little hole or big hole, I guess, you've created in your apple. It's almost like a pocket. Fill up that pocket with birdseed and then place your apple onto your baking sheet. I'm putting mine in the corner so it doesn't tip over. go ahead and fill the rest of your apples. And once they're filled, you can place them on your baking sheet. Because we've added the gelatin, it's actually going to help it all stick together. So you can go ahead and fill up that hole with birdseed as much as you can. I think I want to try and make this one a little bigger. And there we go. Once you've got all of your apples filled and placed on your baking sheet, there's one last thing you need to do. We've got to put our apples now into the fridge for 1 to 2 hours. Now that our apples have had time to cool in the fridge, you can see how the birdseed has hardened and now it's stuck inside of that apple. Time to get our apples ready for our friends outside. Here you have what's called an eye hook. You got some of these in your kit, and you've got some twine. So take your eye hook and push it into the top of your apple. Now cut out a piece of twine. You can make it as long or as short as you would like, depending on where you're planning to hang it at your house. Put the twine through the hole and then go ahead and make a knot. I'm just going to tie a very simple knot, but you could make it a bow if you wanted, depending on if you're hanging it out front of the house or out behind the house. It's totally up to you. Make sure you pull it nice and tight. And there you go. You've got your first apple bird feeder ready to go and hang outside. See how it spins? The birds will definitely notice that when they're flying around outside. Keep doing the same process to all of your apples, and then take them outside to hang them. Thank you so much for joining us today in making these apple bird feeders. Hopefully you'll see lots of different birds come up to your apples to get a delicious snack. Until next time, Ona.